welcome to today's video. We are going to dive into a topic that is absolutely crucial for any business owner: key financial metrics. So whether you are just starting out or running an established business, keeping the right numbers under control can mean the difference between success and failure. In this video, we walk through the most important financial metrics every entrepreneur should track, explaining why they matter, how to calculate them, and how to use them to make smarter decisions. So get comfortable and let's explore how tracking the right numbers can help you stay on course and grow your business. This is what we are going to see: the gross profit margin, the net profit margin, cash flow and liquidity ratios, EBITDA and EBIT, again customer acquisition cost and the lifetime value, and of course last, conclusions. Let's start with the gross profit margin. This metric tells you how much of your revenue is left after covering the cost of goods sold, COGS. It's calculated like this: gross profit margin equal revenue less COGS divided by revenue and times 100. For example, if your revenue is $100,000 and your COGS is $60,000, then your gross profit margin is 100,000 less 60,000 divided by 100,000, 40%. Why does this matter? A strong gross profit margin means you have more money left over to cover other expenses, invest in growth, or increase your profits. By monitoring this metric helps you understand how efficiently you are producing or delivering your products. If it's time to shrink, you may need to renegotiate supplier cost or improve production efficiency. The next is net profit margin. This is your bottom line, showing the percentage of revenue that remains after covering all expenses, including operating costs, taxes, and interest. The formula is net profit margin equal net income on revenue times 100. So, if your net income is $10,000 and your revenues is $100,000, then your net profit margin is, of course, 10%. Why is this important? The net profit margin helps you understand the overall profitability of your business. Even if your gross profit is high, a low net profit margin can reveal underlying issues. Maybe overhead is too high or debt is eating into profits. By keeping an eye on this metric, you can identify and address those issues early. So now let's talk about cash flow and liquidity ratios. Cash flow is the lifeblood of any business. You need to know how much cash is coming in and going out to ensure you can meet your financial obligations. One helpful ratio to monitor the cash is the current ratio. Current ratio is equal current assets on current liabilities. If your current assets are $50,000 and your current liabilities are $30,000, then your current ratio is 1.67. A ratio above 1 indicates that you have more than enough short-term assets to cover your short-term debts. If it's below 1, you could run into cash flow problems. So why is this vital? Tracking cash flow and liquidity ensures you can pay employees, suppliers, and other operating expenses on time. It also helps you anticipate financial shortfall and act before they become serious issues. And now the asset test. The asset test, also known as a quick ratio, is another important metric. This ratio measures a company's ability to cover its short-term liabilities using only its most liquid assets, specifically excluding inventory for calculation. It's considered more stringent than the current ratio because it focuses solely on assets that can be quickly turned into cash. How it differs from the current ratio? The current ratio includes all current assets, cash, account receivable, and inventory related to current liabilities. The asset test ratio excludes inventory from the calculation. This is because inventory, while technically a current asset, may take time to sell and convert into cash. Therefore, the quick ratio provides a more conservative and realistic view of immediate liquidity. The formula: asset test equal current asset less inventory on current liabilities. For example, if a company has current asset for $100,000, inventory for $40,000, and current liability for $60,000, its asset test is equal to 1. Why it's important? The asset test ratio offers a more cautious view of liquidity. It's particularly useful in industries where inventory is not quickly converted into cash or where market conditions make it harder to sell goods promptly. So a quick ratio below 1 could signal that the company may struggle to cover its short-term liabilities without relying on inventory, which poses greater risk for creditors and investors. And now, EBITDA and EBIT. When evaluating a company's financial performance, EBITDA and EBIT are two widely used metrics that help business owners and investors assess how well a business is performing at its core operational level. Let's start with the EBITDA. That means earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So what it measures? EBITDA shows how much earnings a company generates before accounting for non-operational expenses like interest and taxes, as well as non-cash items like depreciation and amortization. Why it's useful? This metric is often used to gauge the profitability of a company's core operations. By excluding certain expenses, it offers a clearer picture of the cash-generating ability of the business. For example, if two companies operate in the same industry, but one has older equipment and thus higher depreciation, EBITDA helps neutralize the difference and allows for a more direct comparison. How it's calculated? EBITDA equals how it's calculated. EBITDA equals net income plus interest plus taxes plus depreciation and plus amortization. The EBIT, earnings before interest and taxes, what it measures. EBIT, also known as operating income, focuses on a company's profitability from its primary business operations, excluding the impact of indirect expenses and taxes. It is essentially the profit a company makes from its normal business activities before accounting for financing costs or tax obligations. Why it's useful? The EBIT helps assess operational efficiency. If your EBIT is consistently strong or improving, it often means the company is managing its production, sales, and administrative costs well. How it's calculated? The EBIT equal revenues less operating expenses, excluding taxes and interest. Now I'd like to talk about how EBITDA and EBIT differ from other metrics. Unlike net profit margin, EBITDA and EBIT do not consider all expenses. They focus only on the core operational performance, making them more indicated for evaluating the effectiveness of day-to-day business activities. While EBIT includes depreciation and amortization, EBITDA excludes. There's no cash expenses, providing a view that's closer to actual cash flow generated by the business. The EBITDA is often considered as a good proxy for the cash flow from operational. Why they are important for business owners and investors? For internal management, business owners can use EBIT and EBITDA to see how well they are controlling costs and maximizing profitability from regular operations. For external comparisons, investors often prefer these metrics when comparing companies within the same industry because they strip out factors like varying tax rates and capital structures, providing a more standardized benchmark. And now, customer acquisition cost and lifetime value. So, for businesses focused on growth, understanding the customer acquisition cost (CAC) and the lifetime value (LTV) is critical. The customer acquisition cost is how much you spend to acquire a new customer, including marketing, advertising, and sales expenses. Its formula is the summary of all sales and marketing expenses divided by the number of new customers acquired. For example, if you spend $500,000 for a marketing campaign and the number of new customers acquired is 5,000, your customer acquisition cost is $100 for each customer. The lifetime value is the total revenue you can expect to earn from a customer over the entire period he or she do business with you. If your customer acquisition cost is $100 and your LTV is $500, that means you are generating $5 for every $1 you spend acquiring a customer. The goal, of course, is to keep your customer acquisition cost low while maximizing your LTV. By comparing these two metrics, you can assess whether your customer acquisition strategies are sustainable. If it costs more to acquire a customer than you will earn from them, it's a sign you need to refine your marketing and sales processes. So those are the key financial metrics every business owner should track. By regularly monitoring your gross profit margin, net profit margin, cash flow, and liquidity ratios, you will have a clearer picture of your company's financial health. These metrics aren't just numbers, they are tools to guide your decision. They help you identify strengths, address weaknesses, and spot opportunities for growth. So, if you haven't already, start by tracking one or two of these metrics. Set a reminder to review them monthly or at least quarterly, and gradually add more as you get comfortable. Over time, you will become more confident in managing your finances, making better decisions, and driving your business to a success. So, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with fellow business owners. See you next time!